You guys, I was like itching to have this conversation today, and I want to start by prefacing this. Every time a relationship ends, it feels like we're starting over from scratch. Like everything we learned, everything we healed, everything we grew through disappears. But I want to reassure you, you're not starting at zero. And that's exactly what this video is about. I want to tell you why it feels like ground zero and why it actually is not. I got my notes. I was literally at home today and I started ruminating about the thought of like, why does it feel like when we go through a hard life shift, every single time, like we're literally starting over? And this time around feels so different to me. And I just had to unpack why this breakup feels so different. Now, I've gone through breakups before in my life. I've gone through hardships in my life. And I just started to assess, like, why does that feel like a trend? Like, there's been nobody that's gone before us and had these experiences when they're the most human experience anyone could have. So I know many people have. And there just has never felt like a great guide to help you navigate that and help you understand why you're actually not starting from scratch, but also in the same token, help you have the tools and the foundation to make sure you're not starting from scratch. It had me thinking about when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It felt like I was the first woman in the world to have ever been diagnosed. And I obviously haven't. There have been millions of ladies before me that have navigated that diagnosis. But why did it feel like I was the first one when I went through that? And then I thought about in the past when I had hired a dating coach, actually, that may be a separate video for another day, but I hired a dating coach after having gone through that journey to help me get back to myself. And when I really thought working with her was going to be more about how to date, which of course that there were parts to that in there. It was really all about me. It was about me being the sun of my world and me being the star of the show with like my confidence and understanding who I am and my values and all of those things. So it brought me back to this moment where, okay, I have those tools and foundations. So in due time, the journey of getting back into the dating world won't be as challenging and it won't be hard because I'm literally not starting from zero. So I just wanted to come and kind of have this conversation because we need to make sure that, I don't want to say we need to make sure, because then I sound like I'm trying to be your mama. And I'm not. I guess I really want women to have the ability to have confidence in their identity and choosing themselves and building up their toolbox. I keep saying that word toolbox. I may find a better word, but building up their toolbox. So when life completely takes a left turn that they did not expect, or maybe they did expect, that disconnection happens, we're not in shambles, we're not crushed. And many of us are not starting from zero because we have this placeholder. You're starting from whoever you last were before like that trauma, that change, that thing took place. So, point one, I want to talk about why it feels like ground zero. When we go through a breakup, that triggers our emotions, it triggers our nervous system because it's like our body is realizing, hey, my old normal is now a new normal. I don't have this pattern anymore with this person. I don't have this cadence of good morning, good evening, good night. I don't have this like, oh, how was your day? Tell me about it. Like so many parts of who we were ingrained with this relationship. So when we don't have that, our body is kind of going through a bit of a shock with the change that's happening. And then our mind is kind of trying to process that too. Like, how do I still do things that I once did the same now that I have to do them differently? How do I care for myself? How do I change my routines? How do I do all of these different processes? Because now what was once so familiar is unfamiliar, and I'm grieving that. I'm grieving the loss of this person. I'm grieving this change. I'm grieving the absence of something that I once hoped for and expected. And my body is feeling like the heaviness of that grief. So like I mentioned, your routine shift, your sense of the anticipated future, that ideal is completely interrupted because it's almost as if it's no longer, right? And of course, just depending on the ending of the relationship, God is a God that restores everything in alignment to his will and his purpose. He withholds no good thing from us. So, if it's something where it's hopeful, or maybe time needs to be apart to change, maybe there's a season of separation, who knows, but generally you are proceeding best in your healing on your solo journey. So the woman you were inside the relationship completely dissolves. It's like you have to become this new woman now. Okay, two. So point two, the truth, can't talk. You're rebuilding from a stronger floor, not an empty foundation. So I like to say you're rebuilding from a deeper, wiser version of yourself. You are not the woman you last were in your last heartbreak. And there is so much truth to that if you unpack the bigger picture. I know previously when I went through a heartbreak, I am not that woman anymore. I didn't handle this the way I handled that. Like, I felt so much stronger. I feel like, okay, I've been here before. This is actually how I'm going to go about this. I have more emotional intelligence. I have more emotional awareness. I have the awareness of not abandoning myself. I am not spiraling. I don't need to make up a story. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't, like those stories that we tend to make up in our head. Oh, maybe I should have did this more and this more and this more. Sometimes there may be some truth to an unleveled partnership, just depending on the situation. But I know that that's not a story that's a part of my reality today. So much of who I was before when I've gone through a breakup and the downward spiral was not who I was today, because I had the strength, right? And even thinking about the tools that I had that my dating coach provided me with, even 2 years later, that has helped me tremendously. And that's what I mean when you have a good foundation, you have something to lean back on. You're not like falling back and just like free falling into the abyss. Like, you actually can sit back in your chair and be like, okay, she's built something. Girl got a foundation right here. All right, we working with something. We cooking with grease. Like, we're literally not starting from scratch though. We're starting over, but we're not starting from scratch. That's the difference, because now I know who I am. I know my identity. I got some awareness about myself. I got a bounce back to myself. I got a resiliency with myself. So it's like, man, this didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, but this is not going to be the thing that take me out. It's not going to be this. So yeah, the tools, the healing, the awareness, the boundaries, the standards, the faith, all like your emotional maturity, all of that compounded is what supports you in your foundation. They don't leave you. So they're still in your body. That's what's in your toolbox. Point three. Oh, this was an unexpected point. But why I'm building a program that supports this rebuild. I'm actually working on building out a program for this very woman, for this woman that has navigated heartbreak. And I want her to be able to have space to journal, space to talk, space to think, and do it in a logical way, right? Because sometimes when that rug is pulled from underneath you, whether you expected it or not, it's a shaking. It's like, whoa. I did not have this on my bingo card this morning. Like, okay, what is this? So when that happens, logically having a sense of direction to guide you to process things in a way where you aren't crashing out, where you aren't erratic, where you aren't sporadic, really, with your feelings and your emotions is so helpful. So it's just like a guide that you'll be able to have for those rainy days and those moments where you're working on coming back home to yourself. I hope y'all felt that deep sigh, because that deep sigh says so many things without saying so many things. So yeah, that'll be that'll be the next step. I'll probably link that in the description notes below so you can sign up for the email. Maybe by the time you watch this, it will be live and available. But I want other ladies to have the same tools that I had to help me navigate and cope, because it has not even been a week yet. And I feel like, okay, I am, I am getting back to myself. I'm going to be okay. It doesn't take away like the love, the disappointment. I guess it just doesn't feel as heavy. And this is coming from like a deeply ingrained next step was planning marriage type of heartbreak out of nowhere. So, yeah, you will be okay, honey. It is going to be okay. It is going to be okay. So, and the thing I want to make note of too is my goal isn't to help you get over that person. My goal is to help you come back to you and choose you first and like love and heal yourself well, not to diminish or disregard the experiences, the memories, the things that you had with that person. And I can only pray and hope they were beautiful for you too. It's just to be able to help you be grounded and rooted within yourself, because especially at this time, we are like, I want to say we're our own best friend, but like you really got to be rooting for you and rooting for your recovery, rooting for your comeback, rooting for your restoration. All right. So this is what I have for you today. If you are navigating this season, meet me in the comments. Tell me if this video resonated, if it helped at all, if it spoke to anything that you needed to hear at all. And in case you don't know who I am Renee. I have conversations that help people after major life shifts rebuild their identity and come back home to themselves. I feel like we are constantly in the great rebuild every single time something happens. And let's rebuild in a way where our foundation is solid, it is strong, and it's more than anything us. It is authentically you. So, all right, y'all. Subscribe, like, share this video with a friend. Until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.